The ethics of rebirth. Are we meant to return? If science makes resurrection possible, does that mean it's right? Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is Resurrection Science. In this video, we're not talking about what we can do. We're talking about what we should. Because bringing the dead back to life isn't just a technical question, it's an ethical earthquake. And the deeper we go into CRISPR, cloning, and resurrection technology, the more we need to ask, are we even meant to come back? Let's be honest. Technology is moving faster than morality. We now have the tools to reanimate extinct animals, edit the DNA of embryos, and store the genetic and behavioral data of billions of people. But tools without wisdom lead to trespass. And in the case of resurrection, that trespass is sacred. Across cultures, death has always been understood as a passage, not just an end, but a transfer of energy, a spiritual release, a return to source. Whether you call it reincarnation, heaven, the afterlife, or the ancestral realm, there's a universal belief that death serves a purpose. It clears, it resets, it concludes a contract. So when we interfere, when we try to reverse that crossing, we have to ask, what are we interrupting? There's a reason so many spiritual traditions warn against necromancy, the act of calling the dead back unnaturally. It's not because the dead are evil, it's because you might not know what you're calling. You may think you're reviving a loved one, but you could be anchoring a being with no connection to that soul at all. And that's not resurrection, that's possession. But even if the soul does return, even if we manage to bring back the original being in the original form, what are we asking of them? To re-enter a world they've already exited? To restart a story they've already finished? To undo a transition they didn't request? That's where the ethical dimension deepens. Because resurrection, when done by technology, doesn't usually honor the will of the one being returned. It honors the desire of the one doing the returning. And that flips the script. It moves from spiritual invitation to technological control, from sacred memory to personal obsession, from love to attachment. Let's talk about grief for a moment. Grief is hard, it's often unbearable, but it's also part of the human experience. It shapes character, it stretches the soul, and in many ways, it protects the boundary between life and death. But resurrection science threatens to collapse that boundary. It offers an escape from grief, a loophole. Instead of facing loss, we recreate. Instead of letting go, we engineer reunion. But here's the danger. When you remove grief, you also remove growth. You freeze the past, you refuse evolution, and you risk getting caught in a loop where no one and nothing ever truly leaves. Now, to be fair, science doesn't always see it this way. Many researchers see resurrection as progress, as a way to heal, as a demonstration of mastery over biology. But mastery isn't always merit. Just because we can override death doesn't mean we understand life. There's also the question of consent. Most people alive today have never been asked if they want to be brought back, but their DNA is stored in databases. Their digital profiles are archived, and their voice, face, and memories are increasingly accessible through AI. So if they die tomorrow and someone brings them back 10 years later, who's really making that decision? And whose version of them is being reassembled? This opens the door to posthumous identity theft, a kind of resurrection without permission. One where your likeness is revived, your behaviors are mimicked, and your soul is nowhere in sight. Not only is that unethical, it's deeply invasive. It reduces a human to a formula, a file, a product, and it sends a dangerous message that your story is not yours to end. From a spiritual perspective, resurrection without alignment can also fracture the reincarnation cycle. If a soul has already moved on, already begun its next journey, what happens if we summon its last vessel? What if we recreate the body while the consciousness is elsewhere? Do we pull the soul back against its will? Or do we leave behind an empty body with an open door? And if that door is open, who walks through? These are not rhetorical questions. They are real, immediate, and unavoidable. Because science is not waiting for spiritual consensus. It's not building with boundaries. It's building with data. And unless the ethical dimension catches up, we are at risk of engineering a future full of lifeless returns, shells with no center, presence without soul. So what's the answer? It's not fear. It's not denial. It's discernment. We have to start including spiritual law in scientific development. We need ethics councils that include not just biologists and engineers, but spiritual leaders, philosophers, and trauma experts. We need consent protocols that extend beyond legal documents into energetic clarity and end-of-life declarations. We need conversations around grief, memory, closure, and release. Because resurrection isn't just about bringing someone back. It's about understanding why they left. And most of all, we need to remember that death is not a glitch. It's not a failure. It's not a void to be filled. It's a gateway. And that gateway deserves reverence. So yes, resurrection science is real. It's here. It's powerful. But without ethics, it becomes a distortion. And without spiritual awareness, it becomes a trap. Not every death is meant to be undone. Not every door is meant to be reopened. And not every return is a reunion. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future, Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems, The Behavioral Economy Now Governs Access. 4. Hive Mind, Synthetic Telepathy and Collective Algorithmic Control. 5. Nanobots Inside You, Medical, Military, and Programmable Intrusions. 6. Grief Tech, AI-Fueled Digital Resurrection and Simulated Comfort. 7. Uploading Your Mind, Consciousness Transfer and Data-Based Identity. 8. Deep Fakes plus AI Clones, The Replication of Reality and Identity Theft. 9. Quantum Humans, The Merger of Biology with Quantum Systems. 10. Digital Afterlife, Where Your Data Goes When You Die. 11. Resurrection Science, Reviving Life Through Synthetic Methods. 12. Immortal Science, The End of Death as We Know It. 13. Longevity Science, Gene Editing, Anti-Aging, and Bio-Upgrades. 14. Designer Babies, Engineered Perfection Before Birth. 15. Artificial Wombs, Birth Decoupled from the Female Body. 16. 3D Printing, Printing Organs, Limbs, and even humans. 17. The Humanoid Era, The Rise of Synthetic Beings Among Us. 18. Legacy Humans, The Slow Phase-Out of Unmodified Analog People. 19. Smart Cities, Algorithmic Environments That Watch and Decide. 20. Cloud-Based Societies, Citizenship Without Borders or Bodies. 21. Hackable Humans, Emotion, Memory, and Behavior Under Code. 22. Biometric Scanning, Your Body is Your Password and Your Prison. 23. Sex Tech, Intimacy Reprogrammed by Machines. 24. Extinction of Gender, Fluidity, Deletion, and Design of Identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.